All right, so I had to pause my video and I did it because I said something I probably shouldn't have said, but whatever. So 6 and 7 is the FOIL property, first, outer, inner, last. Uh, I like to call it what it is. It's the double distributive property. I mean, it's literally the DD property, double distribute. But if your FOIL is what floats your boat, so be it. X times X is X squared, X times 7 plus 7X. Negative 2 times X is minus 2X, and I draw the arrows, just draw the arrows. Even in my head, I probably still visualize the arrows. I mean, I do. It's just good reaffirming practice. Now, if we take 7 and negative 2 and we put them together, we get a positive 5. The double distributive property is huge. I mean, it leads to factoring. Like it's something that builds. It's a prereq skill. The same property on 7. 5 times 3x would be 15x squared. Don't forget about x squared. 5x times 8 would be 40x. Last I checked, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9x. And there's an order here. You notice I put x's by x's and so forth. Negative 3 times 8 is going to be negative 24. Combine like terms. 40 minus 9 is going to be 31. And there we go. Moving forward. We got the basic function notation. Please do not F notation F with you. It's not meant to. It's literally saying, like, if I'm looking at 8, F of 5, this says let X be 5. That's all it says. It doesn't say set it equal to 5. It just says let that X be 5. That's all it says. So 5, I see an X. She becomes a 5. I add 4. This probably had 85, 90% success rate on the first basic squid, which is good, but that means there's still a couple of y'all that have no idea what's going on. So this is for you, and you probably won't watch the video because you're going to be like that. Anyways, 5 times 5 is 25. You add 4, you're 29. 9 is the same idea. We're going to let that x that we see be a 3. I'm literally letting that x be 3. So I'm going to let this x be 3. Sorry, negative 3. I can't talk. And 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. If we add 4, we'd be sitting at negative 11. I did notice a lot of y'all struggled with negatives plus negatives. I noticed that. Here we have slope. Find the slope between two given points. Slope is a formula that I remember seeing probably in 7th grade, and this was way back in the day. You know, this was the back in the day when our phones still had cords. Yeah, I'm old. I built my first computer. That's how old I am. So choose y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we get our points here. This is x1, y1, and this is x2 and y2. So let's just plug into according to our formula. Negative 5 minus 7. Down low, 8 minus a negative 5. Taking away a negative is addition. That's 13 on the bottom. Negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12. Negative 12 13's final answer. On to bonuses. Let's see, we're supposed to find the average rate of change over this interval. ARC for average rate of change is going to be F of B minus F of A, sitting pretty over B minus A. If I remember right, this is the last time that average rate of change is a bonus, because I'm pretty sure by the next basics quiz, average rate of change will have been taught. So it'll quit being a bonus. Here's A, here's B. We just plug stuff in. If I want F of B, I'm going to let the X value be 2. If I take a negative 2 and square it, and the way it's written, this is negative 4 plus 6. Because it's the negative symbols in front of the X. The X value is 2, and this is 2. Now, when I'm finding A, I'm going to plug in a negative 1. I have negative parentheses negative 1 squared plus 6. When I square a negative 1, I become 1, but there's a negative symbol out front. These negatives do not cancel because this has an exponent. And negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Then I just plug this in this little formula. So I'm going to have 2, looks like take away 5 in the numerator. The bottom is 2 take away a negative 1. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Sitting over 3, negative 1, final answer. Let me show you what I saw wrong. And several kids did this. Wrong is doing the DD property. I mean, unless you know the quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But you don't. So, like, don't do this. 10x squared minus 26x plus 25x. Let's see what we got here. Minus 65 equals 0. 10x squared minus x minus 65 is 0. And then you see some kids do some really weird stuff that nobody has ever instructed you on. It's complete garbage. It's just absolute garbage. So what you do is you literally cover things up. Let me draw a little box over here maybe. I'm just going to pretend that that doesn't exist. All right. This says 5x minus 13 is 0. Or, I'm going to take my little box here and I'll put it right there. Pretend that that one didn't exist. It's called the zero product property. That's what I'm using. I'm going to use the zero product property. Now, if you don't know what the zero product property is, go back to Ms. Garner's class or maybe Google it. You have Google. All you gotta do is be a little bit curious. We add 13 to both sides. We'll have a positive 13 on the right. 5x is 13. X is going to be 13 fifths. We're going to take away 5. 2x is negative 5. We're going to divide by 2. So x is negative 5 halves. Ta-da. And then the last one we're going to do is factor. This is kind of like the reverse of, you guys probably know FOIL, but it's the reverse of FOIL. That's what it is. I'm going to fire up a double set of parentheses, and what goes here has to make 7x squared. And I know that 7x times x is going to generate 7x squared. Well, what goes here has to generate negative 6. So my choices here are like 1 and negative 6, or 6 and negative 1, or 2 and negative 3, or negative 2 and positive 3. So it's just about choices. I just guessed in my head and checked in my head, I think. No, I didn't. Put a 3 here and a 2 there. Now, the reason I'm putting a 2 there and a 3 there is because the outside's going to make 21, and the inside's going to make 2, and you'll notice I want that, negative 19. I know negative 21 plus 2 is negative 19. So I'm guessing and I'm checking. And after a while of doing this, you get really, really good at it. If you can add, subtract, multiply. If you can do those things. If you can't, you should be back in 5th grade. Anyways, there's enough insulting you for the morning. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's it. See you in class some point in time.